and we'll roll the old printing press along. We'll roll the old printing press along. We'll roll the old printing press along, and we'll all hang out in kind. Howdy, folks, it's Johan, your favorite little ink blob, back at it today with some more Farewell. How's it going, everyone? Oh, welcome in, Pug, welcome in, Skeleglitch, welcome in, Robert, welcome in, Carsey, welcome in, Avon, so many people. My brain still short circuits a little bit at the fact that, like, oh yeah, people show up. My brain is still in the mode of like, ah yes, go right into the stuff, because all you have to talk to and about is the game. I hope you fare poorly. Well, welcome into you too, Nobo. How's it going? Oh, ink of the bag, what is your wisdom? My wisdom is, you know what? Sometimes it's okay to send it in. Sometimes you don't have to give it your all. Sometimes you show up and that's enough. Can I drink the bag of ink? I mean, I suppose. Again, still don't recommend drinking the Han, but you're welcome to try. And, you know, why don't we carry around ink in bags? Have you been to Canada? Got milk in bags, got ink in bags, why not? And thank you, Avon, for the hydrate. Sell bags of milk in my country, haha. But yeah, no, hope everyone's doing well. I was just kind of recognizing, like, Robert talking about the Discord ping, I really need to set up, instead of doing the at everyone, I need to set up a role for, like, get included in pings. I'm just, man, the sending it in advice was because I'm kind of sending it in, and that's okay, because I've got a lot going on, and we're still here having a fun chill time. That's the hope, at least. People still show up, so. But I do want to try and get on top of things more, but, you know, right now, we're doing what we can to keep our head afloat. Superior than milk cartons? Yeah, but milk cartons, I don't know, I am a fan of milk cartons just because the cardboard is fun to play with. You can, but only once, as because later you'd be dead because ink is poison. At least a lot of ink is not great, yeah. Please reconsider. Correct. They keep the milk good for longer. I have not actually looked into studies on that. Interesting. You're about to go to bed, so how are you? Johan, are you poisoned? Would you poison me? Well, again, I am made partially of green vitriol, so would not recommend drinking the Han, but great start, everyone. Yeah, exactly, with the keyboard moment. Have a day. Not a good or bad, just a day. I would often sign off, like, school yearbooks. Have a summer. A lot of people would do have a great summer. I'm like, nah, have a summer. I do not wish to compel you to have a great one, nor a bad one. What part of you is not green vitriol? Can I eat that part? I mean, the ink has the color it does because of the green vitriol. So, it's tannins plus green vitriol. I would not recommend any Johan consumption. Ooh, this is gross. I both dislike and like this room. I'm kind of seeing that. Fun fact, your body isn't able to properly digest your own flesh. I did not know this. Really. If you go in a centrifuge, you could probably separate me out that way. Yeah. The eyes are pure energy. Yes, but I don't know. I haven't really considered... I haven't done a whole lot of research into the tangible aspect of the energy. I suspect that would require some sort of binding sigils to keep it contained. You either love and hate neither. Oh, my brain is not parsing that sentence. I think eating the eyes would make my mouth toasty. That also seems not unreasonable. I do like the music here. The music is very vibey. The stick as a chopstick? Wait, which stick? What? You could eat yourself without bleeding, you'd die from just eating your legs. Huh. Well, okay, my understanding of it, not to lean too heavily into the cannibalism, especially because, man, we'll get to it. I had a really bad dream last night. But my understanding is that flesh is flesh. It should still be digested by stomach acid. I know that humans have a lot of trouble. You can't, like, bite through your own flesh that easily because there's basically a mental block, but eyes are camera flare? Yeah, no Bowser toss. I feel like if I could grab the eyes, they would stay in the ink like a cat chasing laser, but never catching it. My ink spirit lore, the eyes are like a mimetic effect that also affects camera, so basically, magic. Yup. It's all in the brain. Hey, welcome in, Uno. Wait, Uno Pokemon's gamer. Has the S always been there, or am I having a moment? Jim is denying your claim that he has good gameplay. I mean, he has rapidly caught up to me, so I think it's quite reasonable. I say compare our gameplay, and I think you'll find that Jin is certainly doing better. Oh my god! That's why the bumper is there. Or the spring. Because it recharges our dash. I'm a fool. Jin? ShifuJin. Who is currently streaming Seasides. If you like good gameplay, highly recommend going and checking out what he's doing. He's just started the Seasides. Because on Monday, he did not know about the Seasides. No. That's why Thief looks the way he does. It's the mimetic effect going, hey, oh! So it's not necessarily actual integrations of body parts. It's that we perceive that with the Thief. Interesting. Bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 bum. With Leaf? Yeah. That makes sense. Bum ba-dum. Oh, I was going to say, so, terrible dream last night. Spring his second button first. Yeah. No, absolutely. I just am failing to close the gap most of the time. Boop, there we go. Oh. Oh, crap. So we need to go over jelly into the top one so that it goes through the spikes. Wow. Wow. But also like you to formally apologize to Jim for spoiling to him that there are seasides. Oi! He was going to find out at some point, and I think that was a reasonable spoiler. I will formally apologize for not having a bit when it did get spoiled. Said it'd be funny, that's why I'm asking. Okay, we'll figure out something fancy. Oh crap! Oh dear, that's going to be tough. The first Johan short is Johan apologizing formally. Oh, stream together? Sure. I've never done this. Let's see how this works. Okay.
How does this work?
I don't know. Let's... Oh. Can you hear me?
Hang on. Your voice is really low, but I can kind of hear you.
Okay. I've never done this either. Well, hello.
I saw Uno sent me your stream title.
Mm-hmm.
So mine says, "Go catch Johan beat Farewell instead. He's about to do it. Be there for the moment."
Oh, it's going to be a ways yet. Farewell is quite long.
Oh god.
Which seaside are you on?
I'm stuck on 5C.
Ooh, okay. Oh, that's so you've already done. Oh, I think it was 3C was the first one that was like miserable for me with Oshiro.
I had to look up a video because I could not get the ghost timing. I was like, what is this fucking jump timing? I can't figure it out.
Yeah, no, that is a pain. So you're cruising. You're gonna do great.
Yeah, apparently.
I think the next big hump is gonna be 7C, Quiver in Fear. But you've got a ways yet.
Yeah, I've heard 7C's it's something.
Yup.
Oh god. I think I turned down my game volume so I can hear you better.
All right.
Okay, that should be better.
Yay. I am
How long have you been doing farewell?
farewell. We are currently about 3 hours in, 3.5 it looks like.
Oh no.
But hey, the progress is way better than the seaside, so.
Oh, you're not like stuck in one room for an hour, 2 hours.
Oh, buddy. If 2 hours is what you think, no. Care to take a guess how many hours 7C took me?
I think I heard. I think it took you 10 hours.
A bit over. I think it was around 12. Yeah, and 14 for 8C. So.
I'm not looking forward to that. Can
Oh.
I just quit at 6?
Oh, that's part of why you get the good gameplay title, because I think you're already doing a much better split on stuff. Yes, as Pug's saying, I just have a skill issue.
No. You're probably doing much better than me.
Hmm.
I swear, if I didn't look up 3C, I would still be there right now, trying to figure out when to jump for Oshiro. Oh god. I think I looked up something for 4C as well.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm like hitting like a mental barrier.
That's super fair. The pathing is a very big issue. Pug says 4C isn't that hard. I genuinely, it's been so long since 4C, I can't remember.
Oh yeah. 4C, what was 4C? The wind was a little annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, wind is interesting. Oh wait. Before you entered, we were having a side conversation about if you can digest your own body, and I've had a response here that I need to parse. To explain why eating yourself is bad for you, basically the main problem is because your body recognizes your DNA in the bowels and it doesn't ingest it properly due to the fact that your body has a built-in function to avoid attacking your cells and whatnot. Wait, what?
That makes sense.
But it's...
I've heard that that's the same reason why you shouldn't ingest so much of your blood when you're like nose bleeding or something.
Oh, interesting. Oh, so but it's specifically in the bowels, so it's still breaking it down, it's just not absorbing it?
I think so. I think it's like nutritionally you wouldn't get much from eating yourself.
Fascinating. Not something I had ever heard about auto-cannibalism. The more you know.
I don't think many people are interested in auto.
No, that's
One could say it's a niche interest.
Pshaw. You know, sometimes you gotta worry about when you're stuck out at sea in a lifeboat, and, you know, gotta have the weird niche facts.
I was reading this survival manga about something about that, like stuck out at sea. I think they got in a boat crash or something.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, obviously you shouldn't drink the ocean water because it's too salty.
Yes.
But if you can somehow catch fish, and then like, just like mash up the fish into like just mush and blood and whatever. If you filter that through like a t-shirt even, you can get a lot of water and some, I guess, like vitamins like calcium or whatever without dehydrating yourself.
No, that makes good sense, because they obviously have to store some in their body. I hadn't thought about that. Also, very fun, because we just ran into a fish in the level. But that's really interesting, because the tip I had heard was not about catching fish, but lovely survival hack at sea. Salt water is very tough. Obviously, you can't just like drink it directly, but your bowels are very good at removing salt. So doing a saltwater enema can help you basically not have as much salt actually make it into your system, and can allow you to basically get fresh water for a little bit longer. But
now, when we say enema, we're saying up our butt, right?
Correct. Yes. Processing the water in reverse.
Interesting. That's an idea. In a desperate, you know what? If you're desperately trying to survive, you know what? Enema's the least of your concerns.
This is true. Like, yeah, that is one of those things. It's like not something I'm gonna do out of casual interest, but. Oh, you're true, Pug. I will keep that as a note. And
Also,
Chirquo.
I thought if we did this, I thought our chats were supposed to combine or something, but
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
there's
seeing your chat's message combining.
same. Hold up. Let's. Oh, we can pull. Ah, I can pull up your chat in the. So it popped up like a little window for you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So under in the bottom right hand corner, there's something that says manage, and then below it, there's a little like message symbol. It's not a combined chat, it's just the other person's chat. Oh wait, no, it is combined. Because Carsey's in there.
If
Fascinating.
we both open it, I think we combine it, yeah.
Fascinating.
Did you see Arceus's message?
Yes, I did.
Alright, that's it.
Dun dun dun.
Now our chats can also interact with each other.
Woohoo!
The funny thing you mentioned about cannibalism is my sister is a doctor, and I got to meet some of her medical friends at an Olive Garden, and that was the discussion that they decided to have with me, whether I would be okay with eating people and why I wouldn't be okay with eating people. I'm like, are these the people in our medical society?
Oh my! I need to meet these people because that is one of my icebreaker questions with people.
If you're okay with cannibalism?
Yeah, quite genuinely, because I know that's a weird thing to just like spring on someone, but I find it a really interesting jumping off point for like ethical discussions, because just like in a vacuum, asking people, would you be all right if it was ethically harvested, so someone isn't being killed for it, they've consented to their body being used for it, would you try human meat? And yeah, so how would you feel about that?
Okay, the thing with these hypothetical questions is also they said they can't hear me on your stream.
Oh,
but they can hear you on my stream.
Oh, hold up. Interesting, because
also, hi Rough Cookie, that's someone I know.
Yeah, okay. Pug is saying that yeah, so my chat can hear you because I'm capturing all stream audio, so or all computer audio, so they are catching you. I can see when you speak, audio is transferring. So I think they're saying that they can't hear me.
Oh. That's interesting.
Yeah. Which, not the worst thing in the world, but does certainly make some of the responses to cannibalism a bit more contextless.
Oh, I know why. Okay, I can fix it. I can fix it. Here we go.
Thank you for the hydrate, Aven.
They should be able to hear you now.
All right.
On my stream.
So you were saying, hypotheticals.
Hypotheticals. I have a lot of. I don't just answer the hypothetical as is. I have a lot of questions.
This is super fair.
Like for example, the question about are you okay with eating another human? In like a strict situation, right? Like you're desperate to survive, whatever.
Yeah.
And generally, I said no because I think it's probably better to utilize the other person. And instead of just eating them.
Oh yeah. And that's in like a survival situation.
Yeah.
But
and then like I thought like if you eat another human, something I was saying is like if you eat another human, like don't you go crazy? And then they were saying like no, that's only if you eat the brain.
Right.
Like,
that's
only the brain part. Right?
Prion disease. Yeah. So mad cow disease is when cows consume like other cows. But specifically it's parasites in the brain. So if you are eating a well-cooked brain or avoiding eating another human brain, you should be fine on that that end.
Brain and skin can cause kuru, is what Hippo was saying.
I did not know about skin. But so the hypothetical I'm asking is less about survival and more just like, would you be interested in trying it? Because I remember reading a story about a gentleman who got into a car accident and basically his leg needed to be amputated. And he asked if he could keep it because, you know, if you're already going to be losing a leg, why not?
And so he ate his own leg.
Not only he did not just eat his own leg, he invited friends over and had a taco night, but the meat was his leg.
Oh, I think I know this story. I
Yeah.
think I've heard this before.
And so basically I'm curious. So like in that situation, the harm was outside anyone's control. It was not done for this purpose. So I don't think there's an ethical issue there. And then on top of that, it's something where he's absolutely consenting. He is offering you a chance to do this.
And it's not like you're like mutilating him. He already had to cut the leg off.
Right. So at that point, would you try a taco, or would you say, no, I don't want to try one of these leg tacos?
I will probably still decline.
Interesting. Is there a reason for that? Is that just it's like sort of mentally gross, or?
I think it's yeah, you're right. It's the mentally gross part.
Okay.
I don't think humans. Well, I know like some neo-humans or whatever. What's the word? Proto-humans. That's the word I'm looking for. Proto-humans would consume other humans, but I don't think the majority of modern humans took their lineage or their genetics. Like it's like the same thing as like how a lot of inland people and Western people can't really consume seaweed because they don't have the stomach, what's it called? Probiotics.
The flora and fauna.
So I don't think there's any nutritional or health benefits to eating another human.
Right.
But it'd be purely out of curiosity then, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not exactly curious for eccentric foods.
that is
so, like,
super fair.
Not even actually in that sense, I guess not even just humans, but like other really weird foods I wouldn't really be interested in trying. Like for example, have you heard of what's it called? I forgot the name of it. It's that coffee where it's like cat poop or whatever, but it's not really a cat.
Oh.
It's like it's sort of like a lemur almost.
Okay.
But they
where it gets digested
ethical.
through?
Yeah, it's like the animal eats these coffee fruits as they're like little cranberries almost. And then they poop out the seeds because they can't digest the seeds.
Right.
And some people have found that if you take the seeds, it makes a interesting flavor of coffee because it tends to ferment in their stomach. Which I do drink fermented coffees and stuff like but it's like purposely fermented, like taking the seeds, putting it on a sunny platform or whatever, and drying them out.
Yeah.
Putting them in a barrel. Kopi Luwak. Thank you, Hippo. Yeah, Kopi Luwak. I guess this one though, it's a little different because I'm getting off topic, but it's more ethical. They say like the way they harvest this, they basically capture these animals or these wild animals and make them captive and then force them to go on a pure coffee bean diet, which is not their like they don't just eat coffee beans, they eat a wide variety of fruits and stuff.
Right.
So in order to produce this coffee, it's unethical. Human meat, I guess, it's like, I don't know, it's just not. Even if you tried it, right? Like,
yeah.
Say you tried it and it's delicious. That's one of the most delicious meats you consume. How are you gonna get it again?
Well, and that's interesting because for me, even if it is the most delicious thing, I'm okay with not trying it again. I guess I would like the novelty of the experience to be able to say I've tried it. You know, so it's for me the novelty is important. Again, within the ethical thing, because yeah, you're right. You're talking about like the Kopi Luwak, and that's a horrible thing to do to an animal. So yeah, I would be less interested in trying that. But welcome in, Silver. Thanks for the flip. But yeah, so I certainly would be. I would be less interested in trying something like that. But in the leg taco situation, I would absolutely try that because I'm curious. I'm curious to see what it's like, and yeah, maybe it is the most delicious thing ever, and maybe that does end up making me look at my friends a little differently, right? But like
Ooh, you're
fundamentally,
looking scrumptious. That has a different meaning now.
exactly. But like at that point, it's still just something where I can tuck that away. It's like, oh, I've tried this thing. I can use that in a 2 truths and a lie icebreaker at some terrible corporate event, right? Like, I'm fine with it being that and sort of on the shelf and not having to be something where I'm like actively going, can I do this again? What can I cause another accident and get another leg, right?
Johan's chat is planning to unionize against me. What'd I do?
It's
Is it because I'm?
it's a lot of my streaming is the yapping with chat, so I think the fact that it's external conversation, they're like
I'm taking up their precious Johan time.
I think that's the case, but I've let them know I'm still reading them. But yes, we have a case of jealous chat.
I'll read your chat too. I can answer some of their questions.
Oh, it's fine. A lot of it so far has been there's been some additional context about consumption of human, and a lot of what can be done to get Johan attention back.
You only get 4 hours of Johan per week. This is sparse time.
We'll see. There's a reasonable chance that my second job is going away soon, so there may be more Johan time per week.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah. Well, yes and no. It's
maybe not good for you.
Well, yeah. We'll see. It's retail, so like I can go pick up another one, but may take a little break from it because retail is tough, man. It is.
Oh yeah.
Not easy on the body, especially when the other 15 hours a week is books.
It's especially hard when you're not like the manager or owner.
Oh yeah, no, that's basically the company I'm working for went bankrupt pretty recently.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not getting any product in, and the manager has been out on paid leave, so we're getting all of these messages during this chaotic time super remotely. So I spent 5 hours putting out makeup, and then the next shift was told that, oh no, sorry, we told you the wrong thing to do with the makeup. So I spent that 5 hours undoing all of that. It's a great time, man. Management.
I mildly familiar because my parents own a retail store.
Oh yeah.
And something that I've been busy with lately is that they're slowly working on their way towards retirement. So they're trying to sell one of the stores.
Okay.
But apparently the contract still has 6 years on the lease left.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get them out of that without paying an arm and a leg to,
Yeah. Man, leases are
get out of contract.
Leases are one of those things, the whole death and taxes being the constants in life, leases are right up there.
Oh yeah. And just dealing with landlords in general.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, I hope that goes well.
It's going pretty well right now.
Nice.
It's just a matter of actually closing it out.
Okay. So
I noticed that I was like distracting you from playing the game a lot as well as taking you precious chat time from you.
Nah, having a good time. I haven't done I don't typically stream with other people, so it's nice to chat a little bit. It's a different experience.
Oh, this is the first time I'm doing it too.
Yeah. But despite being a streamer, I am very much not good at multitasking, which is real funny. Hey, thank you for following Hippostabber.
If I suddenly like start answering really terse and doesn't make sense, it's probably because I'm still playing the game and trying to beat it.
Yep. No, that's a couple of times I've been sitting here staring, trying to figure out how to path this particular room.
They're asking how long you're stand at work.
Yeah. No, I think basically since the call I've been in this room. Because I'm staring at this and it's a unique pathing problem. I probably shouldn't talk about it because it would be spoilers for you, but
wait, is this base game? I thought this was a strawberry jam or something.
Nope, this is base game. This is 9A. So when you're done with all of your seasides, you'll be doing the same.
When I'm done with all my.
Okay.
I would not want to try ground leg taco, Carsey. Thank you. All right, how about we switch topics?
We broke him.
Allie B doesn't like the taco cannibalism either.
Yeah, she was a bit weirded out the other day when I was talking about what I thought would be fun to do posthumously. But if we're changing topics, we won't get into that.
The smell of a different texture, you know, I could handle that. I do wonder what properly cooked human meat texture would be like. I wouldn't want to try it to figure out, but because, like, you know, they say, like, if you eat crocodile, it tastes like chicken.
Yeah. Well, human in theory is very similar to pork. It's sometimes called long pork for that reason. So, like, I assume probably very similar in that regard.
I wonder if that's like how do people figure that out? Because, like, do you know this book Animal Farm?
Yes, George Orwell.
Mm-hmm. In the end, all the people turned into pigs, and, like, you know, metaphorically, people have often compared human greed and stuff to pigs.
Right.
So I've always wondered why. Like, did that thought shape the fact that people are like, oh, humans taste like pigs, or is it like, oh, we just always thought people were kind of like pigs, not that we tasted them to know.
That's interesting. That is a possibility. I don't know when the term long pork came to be. That would be an interesting thing to try and, like, track down, because, like, the thing is, people have eaten people for a fairly long time. Like, that is something we know, that people have been in situations and there have been cultures that have engaged in that. So I would assume that it would come from actually tasting human, but I do wonder if, even if that didn't influence the description of like people of it being like long pork, I do wonder if the, like, pigs as that sort of symbol of, like, greed and corruption, if there is some element of that there, because I don't know where pigs being a sort of, like, symbol of corruption and greed comes from, because, like, a pig was a fairly affordable thing for a decent chunk of history. Most peasants would have a pig that they would keep to slaughter for the winter, so that's an accessible thing that I wouldn't go like, yes, let's put a pig in a suit and call that corporate, right?
Also, the fact that people have such negative connotation of pigs, like, for example, they're dirty.
Yeah.
But that's like a circumstance of human abuse, basically. Like, pigs are not dirty.
Yeah, no. Pigs take mud baths, but that's legitimately to keep cool and whatnot. Yeah, they are not that bad.
They're also very smart. Pigs are apparently smarter than most dogs, I've heard.
Yeah, no, I know they are certainly at least very good escape artists. But it's animal intelligence is a very interesting topic. Because I remember when I was younger learning that in theory the only animals that we were aware of that were capable of, like, self-identification in a mirror and sort of had that self-concept are humans and dolphins. Were the only ones where basically you can, like, put a dot on them and they'll go look at that. But more and more, it seems like more and more species are able to do that. Crows are certainly able to do that. I've seen some things doing experiments with dogs and cats where they're able to recognize themselves. Like, you can put something on them and they can go check in a mirror or even on a phone. I've seen a couple with cats.
A big one is elephants. They are
yes.
intelligent as well.
Yep,
I
and
think
octopi.
they test that, right? The dot on the head, and they're like, "Who put this on me?"
Yep. Yeah, and it's like that's so cool to me that we're finally able to recognize some more of that. Which, I mean, also there's so much that we have learned and then have rehashed in the past few decades because we didn't realize our testing techniques were so not good. Like, babies with like object permanence. I know that's something where it was said to only develop at like X number of months of age. We've recently lowered that number. I was learning in some developmental psych classes a while back, because the people testing it, they were basically showing an object of interest to the baby, and then they would hide it. And they were measuring whether or not the baby would reach for it. So the problem with that is babies, notoriously, don't have great motor control. And it turns out that the lower age limit for object permanence they were measuring was actually the lower age limit for their ability to point with their arms, by and large.
What if you guys slander Johan? He wouldn't notice. Guys, I'm reading your chat. I will tell Johan you're slandering.
Oh no, I've been slipping. I didn't catch the slander potential. Oh. This is cruel and unusual. Oh no. Carsey with the stabbage. Oh dear.
Oh my god.
Oh, a highlighted I didn't even notice? Oh dear. Oh, this is bad. Can Johan notice this? Apparently not. That's a whole... So the on-screen chat doesn't display highlights because the way I've got it set up is through stream elements. So that I can do like pull the chat colors and whatnot and have the fancy little setup. Stream elements can't determine whether or not a message is highlighted, so I can't do a special thing for highlighted messages on screen, which I'm still trying to troubleshoot. But goddamn.
What? Is chat shared?
We have a shared chat, and it's showing a combined viewer count. But yeah, each stream seems to have a separate chat still. Hold up,
yeah, I've been confused on what the chat like is actually doing.
Stream together, shared chat.
Just turn it on. It should be in the pop-up. I thought I did turn it on.
I thought so too, or at least I clicked on it. Hold up, chat settings.
If I type here, where does this go?
Oh, that's a good question.
Here in both chats.
So that did not appear in my chat.
Yeah, it didn't.
Okay, shared chat on this page. Starting shared chat and stream together. To begin a shared chat session, the host must first start a stream together session. Okay. Or knock. To enable shared chat.
Collaboration settings just has pause the collaboration. Any other options?
To enable shared chat, go to your stream together backstage window and click start sharing chat. So I think you are technically the host because you invited me? Question mark? So it looks like if you go above our two little channel icons to the shared chat, it looks like there should be an option there based on the tutorial I'm seeing.
Oh, share chat. Oh, there we go.
Woo!
Okay,
all right.
Now share chat. Okay, now we have it.
On what actually goes with me. So, I am interested in reading that Skele glitch. I just may end up going back later for it. Oh god! Oh, it shows the little icon of the channel that people are chatting in.
Oh yeah.
We're learning.
We're learning.
Brain growing sizes.
This is really fun. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I'm having a great time. This is...
I'm making no progress in my level, but who cares?
Same. Making no progress. Chat is going insane from abandonment, but we vibing.
Are you interested in reading a short story on stream, Johan?
I am. Are you down?
Sure.
All right. Hit us with it.
Can you still ban? I don't know. Can you? You can try, Carsey. If you ban me, I'd like to see what happens in the share chat.
Yeah. Okay. You're now banned.
Oh, I can still see a share chat though.
Okay. Oh, not right now. Okay.
I can't see your chat anymore.
Oh, fascinating. So it It does actually block you from it. Weird. You eat your own flesh when you're starving, which will happen if you keep bringing your legs. Okay, yes. Oh, fascinating. So it triggers an autoimmune issue, Skull Glitch? Wonky. Oh,
But
wait.
if you cook, wait, all this talk about like cannibalism, is it raw meat though? If you cook it, doesn't it destroy the DNA anyways?
Well, it wouldn't fully destroy. It might denature some of it, but I don't actually know, because DNA does degrade with heat. I just don't know if all of it does.
Hi, Ali B. Uno, don't ban everyone in my chat.
Wait, hold up. Hold up now.
I'm sure half the people in my chat are from Johan's chat anyways.
Does make it less self-destructive. Okay. You mod both chats. Oh, fascinating. Well, be careful with your stabbage powers then. Lest ye become stabbed yourself. Love Jinhan stream? Oh god. Is that the name? Is that the combined name?
That's a pretty good name. It sounds like an actual Korean name.
True. True, true, true.
Jinjo? That's also a pretty good name. Stop saying that word, Ali B.
Oh god. I have watched far too many K-dramas, but I'm guessing that's not a word that shows up in them much.
The stream share is pissing Nobo off because he's the unoriginal.
Ah.
Is there two? Wait, are some people like duplicated because they're in both our streams anyways?
That might be the case. So I'm seeing 15 viewers with 24 shared viewers, which I would assume means I don't actually know how that works. I don't know if that's unique or not. Wait, oh my god, the Tim here. Hello, welcome in, Tim.
Who's Tim?
Tim, Vimothius, is lovely, lovely streamer from the Netherlands, who I do highly recommend checking out. Streams more in the morning for our times, and dropped in on me playing Bob Is You at one point, and was kind of first guy that I was doing stuff with. Most of my chat comes from there. So, yeah.
Tim Vimothius. Yeah, he joined my stream before too.
Oh, hell yeah!
I think. Yeah. Tim raided me.
There we go.
I forgot because his name's Vimothius. I'm like, who's Tim?
And thank you for doing the shout out. But yeah. Wow. I know. Forgotten so quickly. Alright. But yeah, so Tim. What this surely means is, Tim, you should go queue up some Celeste and pop on, right?
Can we do multi 3 people collab?
I think so. There is, I believe it should still say there should be the option to invite more folks. Of course, only if Tim is up for it. I know this is late in Tim's day. Surely this means I'll go to bed soon, yes. Yeah, no worries. Please get risk.
Has Tim beat Celeste before?
I know. Yes, Tim has done Farewell. I'm like, I know Tim did all of the Seasides because Tim was my equivalent for. Wait, there are Seasides? Oh God, what are they like? But yeah, I think Tim has beaten Farewell, right? A while ago, I think. It's been so long. Big day tomorrow. School and picking up Jamie from the airport. Oh, nice.
Nice.
Oh, I hope you enjoy getting to see Jamie. Took 23 hours for Farewell? Oh dear. Oh no.
Wait, but your timer says 125 hours. What does that mean?
That is the total amount of time I've spent in this Celeste save. The number under it, the 4 hours and 11, that's what I've done on this level. Johan, you should be concerned? I guess. Oh dear. Oh dear. Well. I do think I finally figured out how to path this room. It only took... Checks watch. Never mind, don't check the watch.
So wait, you said you're in my time zone? Are you also in America?
I like to keep it a little in specific, but I am in the Pacific Standard Time zone. So West
okay.
Coast of the U.S. is the equivalent for that. Could be Canada, could be
Yeah,
U.S., could be
I
Mexico.
just keep it pretty vague as well. I just say I'm on the East Coast.
Gotcha. Yeah. Beauty of being a little paranoid. There's a reason why I show up as an ink blob rather than as a person.
Where's your thing from? It kind of looks like something from Final Fantasy.
It's something I drew myself. I was trying to figure out streaming. Oh god. Oh, the time has gone. I was like, oh, like a year ago. It's been a year and a half at this point. But January of 2024, I was like, I've got a little time. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do in life. I'm gonna stream and try and like build a hobby, and was trying to figure out how I could stream without showing my face, and went with
You have a talking blob.
yeah, exactly. Well, I was trying to go originally with the name The Printing Press Revisited because I thought I would do like some like video essays, and I still might. I still have that channel name reserved on YouTube. But
Oh, Vimotius followed me. I think you
hey!
told me last time, Vimotius.
But it came from, there's a song I really like by a band called oh wow, this is great. Band I love, and I can't remember their name. The artist is named Eric Peterson, but there's a song.
That sounds familiar.
Oh, interesting.
Eric Peterson.
It's some sort of like folk punk kind of stuff. But there's a song called "The Reinvention of the Printing Press," which just like really speaks to me, and so I went, oh, we'll do something with printing presses. Johann from Johann Gutenberg, or Johannes Gutenberg, and then I went with Peterson, air quotes, as the official last name for the Twitch thing, and because Eric Peterson. So that's why I'm an ink blob.
Oh, lore.
Yep.
Johann lore.
Johann Playerson.
Johann Playerson. My name does not have as much interesting lore behind it. I'm just really interested in martial arts.
Yeah.
So I wanted to teach people martial arts, and you know what they call martial arts masters is Shifu. So that's it.
And then
Jin is actually my last name, but it's Chinese. So like Korean, the way Asian languages work, sort of like how in English we have like Roman roots and Latin roots for words.
Yeah.
The majority of Asian languages have like a Chinese roots, basically.
The ideogram from the Hanji, right?
In Korean we call it hanja. So even depending on the country, they call it something different. Like I think Japanese call it kanji. I think Japanese is kanji, where they basically use Chinese symbols. And then it's they have their own pronunciation or words for it, but it's essentially the same meaning as the original Chinese one.
Right.
Korean we call it hanja.
Okay. Because I know a smattering of each, because Hangul is the writing system, right?
Yes, that's the Korean alphabet.
Yeah. But sorry, please continue. Just
but that's it. So if you took my last name, so my not all Koreans do this, but my family used like the Chinese symbols to make our name, but we read it in Korean. So my last name is super common, so I don't really care if people know it. Same as my Korean last name.
Oh, yep, fair enough.
That symbol in Chinese is read as Jin.
Gotcha.
So that's why ShifuJin.
Okay. Oh, fascinating. Because yeah, my understanding of it is that Hangul. Again, you probably know a lot more about this, so I'm saying this and correct me at every turn. But my understanding is that Hangul, it's an alphabet because each sort of character is made up of the different syllables, or at least the sounds, right? Because it's not a syllabary. And the then whole character, despite being, you can read it based on the smaller sounds, it's usually based on one of those Chinese ideograms, right? Okay. That's super cool.
So originally, that's correct, and the details behind it are like so. Before Korean had their own language, I think I even know this. I don't know too much about Korean history, but I think I know the history of this. I believe the king who made this, his name is King Sejong. He's the one who made the Korean alphabet, I'm pretty sure. And he made that because he noticed that there was a high illiteracy rate in the Korean population.
Yeah.
And part of that was, like you said, they were using the Chinese characters to write, and it's very difficult writing system. Unless you're like your nobility or whatever, it's hard to get an education and learn all that. So he created the simple Hangul system, which separates components of a word that we speak into its sound, sort of like the American alphabet, or I guess it's a Greek alphabet.
Yeah.
And then you can combine vowels and consonants to actually make words.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Silver.
There's I think a push for you to play March is part of what's happening here, which I do highly recommend. But
is that a game, March?
Yes, March. I'm very engaged in the Korean lesson though. I will fully reveal March stuff in a moment. I would love, sorry, brain. I would love to finish hearing about King Sejong. You were saying the subby. Thank you, Vim.
I'm not exactly the best source for Korean because Marsh. Yeah, I've been told to play Marsh by a whole bunch of people.
Okay.
But anyways, something about me is I don't actually like most of modern Korean culture.
Okay.
I think Koreans are quite I don't know how to put it. We're like regressing in terms of culture.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Like any particular aspect of it, or just sort of across the board?
Mostly political.
Okay.
I think political is like the worst. Like, for example, the Korean netizens, people on the internet, using their anonymity to speak, right?
Yeah.
They say like our culture is the president doing something super corrupt, going to jail. The next president comes in and pardons them. That's our culture. And like that's like a meme in Korean politics. That like all Korean politics are super corrupted and greedy. And they all just end up going to jail, but the next president will just pardon them anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Because yeah, I remember seeing a news story from like a few months back about there was some sort of big power move that the president tried to pull. I did not see that he got pardoned. That, oof, yeah.
It could be possible he didn't get pardoned this time because there has been that much like backlash from the people. So I'm not exactly sure. I don't follow like modern news in Korea.
Wow. Okay. I'll need to follow that up. And hey, Code is saying that the short stories have come through. If we want to do that, since if we aren't doing that much in the game, I'm
still playing. I'm just not getting anywhere.
Yeah. No, I mean same. But just in any case, March, I do highly recommend. I haven't played it in a while, but so Silver developed March, and as well as if you do enjoy puzzles on any level, did Griduller, which is I think you could probably get through most of Griduller in like a stream. I think it's probably like 3 to 4 hours. It's a fun sort of like auto movement, arrange the board to solve the puzzle kind of deal. But then
Griduller?
Grid and then the color without the C. So it's grid-based movement, but uses colors to sort of cover things. And then Marsh.
That's one I've never heard.
Yeah.
I didn't know Silver Fillet made Marsh though.
Yeah, no. So Silver is the developer, currently working on Marsh 2. It's super cool. He's also just seems like a super rad guy. Does streaming himself, plays drums. And is also super responsive to stuff. I was stuck on one of the boss fights in March and was complaining about, wow, the arm color on this boss makes it really hard to tell when the attack is happening. Can we do something about that? Yeah, and made it stand out more. It's like, oh, awesome.
Oh, nice. I guess I could check out Marsh right now, because
yeah,
I don't mind playing 2 games. I recently beat Viewfinder. Do you know that game?
I don't. I'm not familiar.
Oh, you should check out that game. Have you played Superliminal?
No, but I've heard very good things about that.
I've not played Superliminal either. I've also heard good things, but apparently, Viewfinder is compared to Superliminal for a bit because it messes. It's like platforming puzzles based on like perspectives and placement of objects and stuff.
Okay.
And that tends to affect how you approach the level. But
Gotcha.
it has a my complaint I had. I'm not gonna spoil too much, but I said the story was a little bit cringe, and I didn't expect it to go in the direction of climate change topic. But that's about all I'm gonna say about that.
Okay. Interesting. Huh. Tim is also saying, highly recommend Viewfinder, one of my least performing streams, but I enjoyed it a lot. So me with Nier Automata.
It is very unpopular. Like, I think I also averaged like 3 to 4 viewers playing that game, and it was like my wife and Uno, I think.
Let's see, at least personally, like, I love the streaming and talking to people part of streaming, right? Like, that's obviously a lot of what I do. But part of it is also just like, I'm doing this to get through my backlog of games, so like, I'm totally fine playing the unpopular stuff if it's neat, right? Because who knows? Can confirm mine was also very ex-girlfriend in Uno.
I'm the exact same way. Like, I like games, but I never enjoyed playing them for some reason. And then when I started streaming, I'm like, this is a lot more fun. Like, showing people while I'm playing game. I don't have to be good at it or anything. Just talking to people.
Absolutely.
It seems like everyone wants us to play Marsh, and
yeah,
I would not mind changing because I'm stuck.
Yeah, no, that's honestly, yeah. I've got like another hour, and if I'm not making progress on this, might as well march it up. See how poorly I do at some of the challenges.
Are you gonna join me in March, or you only have an hour left on stream?
I'll queue up some March and play alongside. But yeah, I've unfortunately I have 2-hour streams these days rather than my old 4.
Okay.
All right, and good night, Ethan.
I'll play Marsh if I get bribed more. Good call, Carsey. I need someone. I need a moderator who's like shamelessly being like, "Hey, you have to pay them to play." Exactly. I might be a small time streamer, but I need incentives.
Bum, bum, bum.
I have too much shame in asking for money, even though this is technically my full-time job.
Yeah, no, it's I legitimately held off being an affiliate for a few months because I'm like, I don't want to deal with the headache of money and potential taxes on that and all of that stuff and ads. But I eventually caved because people wanted emotes. So we have emotes, and we've got it so that whenever any sort of monetary thing comes in, so a sub or a bit, I do a little backflip. So that's what the people really want.
I have actually every time Ali does what's it called, a bit donation, I also do a flip. But I don't show you a video camera. I actually do a physical flip. I do a somersault. I just like roll on the ground.
Oh my
god! I have
god!
No space for an actual flip. Nor I'm not capable of doing a flip either.
That is super fair. What's in it around?
Ali B makes streamers do somersaults. Yes. That's your calling. Every bit I get, do a flip.
That is my current going rate. I have significantly devalued flips because I'm able to automate them.
Maybe I should raise mine because I'm doing a physical one. Maybe I'll say 10 bits for a flip.
It's good to know your price point, that people can make you do an action for 10 cents.
Get it while it's low. It's gonna go up.
Also, I don't know. I feel like we've talked a little bit in the past. Are you familiar with Magic: The Gathering?
I know of it, but I've never actually took the time to learn any of it. I know a lot of people are interested in it.
Okay.
I don't know anything about it other than it's a card game.
super fair. I play a lot of Magic. The reason I bring it up is because Skeleglich is asking if you are familiar with Phyrexian, which is a language of one of the like factions in Magic. But if you don't know anything about it, yeah. All right. Good night, Tim. Thanks for popping in, and thank you for the sub. Morsh.
I'm not getting bits. Where's my bribing? Where's the Marsh bribes?
Dun dun dun. Tier 1 bribe. There we go. I know Korean Magic one. No, Ali. No.
Oh my god. Okay, now the bits are coming. The bribes are coming in.
Silver knows how to advertise.
I wish I had a bigger audience for Silver.
I started playing March when I was still sub 10 on average, which it's still, my brain is still like, oh right, people are showing up these days. I'm still very much used to like, oh, I show up and there's maybe one person that drops in for like half of the stream. That is what my brain is still stuck in.
Yeah, it's a little bit disheartening when you had a lot at one point and then all of a sudden it drops, but like I'm actually noticing the same thing, that people are showing up more. Maybe it's because like exam season's over.
Yeah,
it's just ending.
Yeah, I think combination of time and also like, you know, it does just come and go, right? People have lives and such, and also depends on like how consistent are you being and such. Oh, interesting. I've got a would you rather from Robert. Would I rather be an ink blob that eats humans, or be a human that eats ink blobs?
Is the ink organic?
I mean, I'm trying to think. Fully organic inks tend to not write super well because, so like I've talked about the ink composition of Johann the Ink Spirit. I go with an oak gall and iron sulfate mix, which was what a lot of like medieval Europe used. So it's using basically hornets will lay eggs in oak trees, which will form an oak gall. They're called. They're basically these big knots that are full of tannins, which make for really, really great ink, but they don't have a lot of staying power. So you mix in green vitriol or iron sulfate, which is highly, highly noxious, to sort of help bring out the deeper, richer colors. But there's this really sad aspect of it, of the iron sulfate is corrosive to paper, because it's corrosive to most organic materials, which is part of why it helps bring out the deeper colors of the tannins. And as a result, a lot of medieval European documents that were written in this ink are slowly basically corroding themselves. They are destroying the paper that they are written on because of the information that's been written on them, which is a big problem in the preservation of it, and super cool.
Aren't they? I think I've heard about this. Aren't they like a big effort to like rewrite everything in a more modern recording?
It's like, so many places are trying to. Yeah, well, there's a lot of places that are trying to do physical restoration. There's a lot of digitization that's been happening. But I know in the US, because the US is coming up on its 250th, right? Because 1776, like I think, was Declaration of Independence. And so yeah, coming up on the 250th, there's a big push for US Civil War and Revolutionary War pension documents that are one of the National Archives is basically doing a volunteer drive where they've posted scans of a lot of these documents, and then you can go on and do transcription work. Just basically pick a document and try to type out what you think it says. So it's this huge mass volunteer effort to try and get these things preserved in a searchable way. So that's something you could do if you ever felt like it. I've
I
done
think
one
I've
or
heard
two.
about this. I was wondering if you can get paid for it, and I was like, nah, I don't really care that much.
No, it is all volunteer.
Okay. I don't know how much effort I'm gonna put in for volunteer work.
But history.
Here I am trying to destroy the universe, not preserve it.
Ooh. I'm a little concerned. There's a new... So, Silver added cosmetics to Marsh, which is still something I've not interacted with much. But there's now a new bag called the Stimulants, and I'm not sure I want to purchase stimulants on stream. That seems concerning.
I think I'm gonna start up Marsh. If you want to join me, you're
Yeah.
free to. I've been sufficiently bribed by Silver.
All right. Let's
I've been sufficiently bribed by Silver, so we're gonna start Marsh.
Sounds good. Ooh, I think what I'll do, I'll try and match you. I'll play through and keep doing the level over and over again until you pass it.
In Marsh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is this a platformer?
I've heard it. I have not played Cuphead, but I've heard that is very similar to Cuphead. So it's a
Oh, right. I've heard
boss
that
fight
too, yeah.
platformer. Yeah.
Okay. Adventure. Platformer, yeah. I don't know how much effort to put on the stream tags.
I personally, I don't think stream tags do a whole lot. Most people don't seem to search by tags. I'm also not out here optimizing, but I was super like on it early on, and now I just do English orb because there were a lot of orbs in Bob Is You that we liked, yapping, and then basically no spoilers please, no backseating unless asked, and I don't bother with anything else, so... Cuphead Marsh ripoff? Absolutely. So, my personal philosophy is, have fun with the tags.
Martial artist.
Hell yeah.
Some people actually do come to my stream asking about martial arts, but like, there's no... So obviously martial arts is a physical thing, so it's best to show it, but I don't have any videos about me doing martial arts right now. I'm still trying to make some videos with my friend.
Yeah.
But until then, it's kind of awkward. I'm like, I mean, I can talk about it, but I don't know if you're going to hear me talk about martial arts.
Well, I know I am a weak and flabby little man in real life, so I have not done a whole lot with martial arts, but I know that there is a very big philosophical component to it, right? Because I know I've read at least like the Book of Five Rings, which is, you know, that's samurai, right? So that's more, I guess, like a warrior aspect of things, but I know that there are a lot of really influential thinkers that are talking about martial arts as a sort of broader life philosophy. So I think there's probably something there. I don't know.
That's definitely an aspect of it, like the whole, like you're saying, the philosophical lifestyle aspect. And like, it's all valid. More power to them. I'm more into like what me and my friend are into, like we're trying to figure out the biomechanisms of like how it is that our body can function so that you know, you can overcome things like weight or size differences, because like the way we approach it, it's like, well, back then, before guns and stuff and cannons were made, people fought wars hand to hand and bow and arrow, maybe.
Yep.
So it's like, how would they account for the fact that people are different sizes and stuff? They always have to you know, be able to beat people even if they're bigger than them. It's like, you can't just run away from a battle just because, oh, he's bigger than me, he's taller than me, I can't beat him. So we found out, it's like, oh, okay, so we found out the approach to how to use our body, and it's actually a simple physics thing about setting up your body's center properly, and then utilizing an action using your techniques or your arms.
Okay.
It's kind of, it's like I said, it's more of a physical thing.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to explain it, but if we ever get the opportunity in the future where maybe we can stream in person together, and then I don't know, if you're ever comfortable doing like a face reveal or something at that point, then I can show you martial arts, and it can be, it'll be a pretty cool idea. Where, again, I don't want to force you into this. I totally understand the anonymity of being online, because until I started streaming, I was the same way. I never shared my real name. I never shared anything about my real life. I wouldn't even leave comments on YouTube videos, because I'm like, I don't want any history about me or my personality to be recorded at all.
Exact same.
So I totally understand, but again, if ever an opportunity comes, I would love to teach people martial arts.
Yeah.
And, you're saying you're weak and flimsy. It doesn't matter. I can make you an expert fighter.
No, and so that is super interesting. I have thought a little bit about it, because I enjoy baking and cooking. I've been thinking about potential hand cam stuff. My biggest limitation is I'm still currently living at home with my folks, which is not a great environment for trying to make sure that I don't leak information on accident. But if and when I manage to move out, because we love the economy, I've been thinking a little bit about potentially. Have you ever seen Life of Boris on YouTube?
I've heard of it, but I'm not sure what it's about.
He's
Boris?
He's sort of a Slavic culture oriented YouTuber. But the way he does it, he just basically wears a balaclava and goggles to help mask his identity. I'm like, I think I could probably come up with a custom Johan ski mask that might work for doing some actual body stuff.
Your ink blob would make a nice mask.
Yeah. So that is something I've been tinkering with. So that it would not be something anytime soon, most likely, but in principle, I'm amenable. I think it would be really fun, because you're talking about the mechanics of how people were conducting these fights, and one of my other hobbies is blacksmithing, because I really like medieval weaponry. And it's really interesting when you're talking about this, because I haven't thought about it from the physical standpoint of the people doing the fighting most of the time, but from a weaponry standpoint, yeah, a lot of these things you're talking leverage, because while swords are obviously something that a lot of cultures have versions of, and that's what we see depicted most of the time, folks were using spears, because, yeah, you're a physically weak foot soldier up against a whole bunch of other folks. What you're trying to do is basically stab them at a distance, so that you're not having to worry about your physical aspect as much. Or axes, which you can do with a lot less training and just sort of hit hard. So, from that perspective, that's how I'm coming at it. But talking about what are some of the physical techniques that they're using, utterly fascinating, and I would love to experience some of the stuff you're talking about with that, and sort of see how that blends with my current understanding and what new stuff I get out of it. So, hell yeah.
I would say if you learn martial arts from me, even the concept of using weaponry, like swords, maces, whatever, it becomes entirely you sort of get a body epiphany. It's that's how you use these. Because when I watch YouTuber sword demonstration stuff, sometimes when they feel their body feels really good, I guess, they do a really nice swing, and I'm like, oh, that was pretty good. But most of the time, it's they can't seem to replicate that same really good swing, because I feel they lack the deep understanding of what it is about their body that's making things work.
Right.
So how when teachers, right, in schools, if they don't really understand the subject that they're teaching, it's going to be difficult for them to actually teach students, right? Because they can't.
Right.
For example, they won't be able to find different ways to explain things when people can't get it the first time, right?
Right. You can, if you only understand enough to parrot, you're not going to be doing a good job. Yeah.
Exactly. So in the same way, I think using your body in combat, even tool use, one of the funny things I tell some people who are interested in this is, if you want to learn martial arts, you don't have to use it to fight. You can use it to do gardening and farming and stuff, and you'll be able to do that without harming or injuring your own body, because you understand the biomechanism of everything that goes on.
Gotcha. So what you're telling me is all of these aches and pains I'm getting from retail and shelving books, if I learn martial arts, I will know, to put it in a very reductionist way, book foo.
Almost, yeah. You could do that. There is an aspect of like body conditioning that's obviously used.
Mhm.
In fact, actually, I don't know if your chat mind, but there's this YouTuber I follow because I think this guy's understanding of like how to condition your body and build strength isn't necessarily about, you know, bodybuilding or becoming the super athlete that people like think that they are or whatever. He's all about um, reducing pain, minimizing uh, the barrier of entry to doing more athletic movements, right?
Mhm.
Um, I'm just gonna plop it in your stream,
All right, yeah.
in your stream chat.
Oh, absolutely.
Whenever I do like my what's it called, exercise streams, I often share this guy because I just love how he explains things.
Oh, nice. The knees over toes guy. Okay.
Yep. His short story he talks about in his videos, but he says he had knee surgery and he thought he was never going to be able to run again or do anything. But
Mhm.
after he discovered how to do things, he was like, oh, how do you shoot?
Oh, are you using a controller?
Yes.
The
Oh, let's
right,
kill me.
the right or left trigger is.
Ah,
So I assume you're on Sir Solar.
yes.
Awesome. Ah. Yeah.
Oh. I'm still learning controls.
Don't worry. I believe the. By the way, I have been doing Sir Solar runs while we've been talking, and I've beaten him twice. I'm currently trying to do it on the impossible difficulty. But my first attempt, I think it took me at least an hour. So like, it can take a while. You've got this.
So it seems like I had to refill my bullets,
Yes.
and everything is trying to kill me.
Yep. Touching things bad unless it's the cute little marsh potion. Then you juice up, and you
Ow.
aggressively spray the sun with the juice.
I have your stream open, so I see there's a phase 2 where he's the moon. I haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, that's right. Hold up. My brain was like, wait, stream open. There's repeat audio. Or, Johan, there's the mute button.
Oh, should I mute my game too?
Oh, no. I was just realizing that I can mute your stream so I can see what you're doing.
Ah. Oh. Hiya. These birds.
Oh, yes. They just, you know, want to be friends.
Do you want an easier difficulty? No.
We've been asked in Phyrexian, would you rather kill machines or offer peace to machines? Personally.
I want to become a machine. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Wow, so we're both on the mechanical futurism train? Because I also would love to become a machine.
Do you know the game Punishing Gray Raven? It's like a mobile game.
No.
In that game, I'm sure it's not the only game or thing that talks about turning your body into a machine. I think that's like in Metal Gear Solid as well.
Mhm.
But I want to become like, I want my human consciousness, but I want to put my body in a machine.
Yeah, no, that's... So, for me, it was... I got,
Yeah.
when I was young, deeply terrified of death. You know, nice light stuff. And went on, like, a whole train ride with that, but became, like, deeply obsessed for a while with the idea of putting consciousness, into a digital format so that it can be backed up indefinitely. I'm now much more on the train of, like, I just want to live until I get bored, so that, you know, I'm not as worried about stuff. Gotten a little more chill, but, like, and if I could put my body in machine and back it up with some sort of, like, RAID array cloud storage, I'd be happy with that.
I'm so much in agreement to that.
Hell yeah. Also, no, not ignored quote, just pulling little bits and pieces out of chat. Oh, you're in the moon phase? Nice! Oh.
I was so close to the end.
Yep.
I forgot to read the death message. Alright, this one right here. I don't know if I'll talk though, I might go radio silent.
No worries. Boop, boop, boop. Going back up to the quote message. Oh no, oh god. Chat has been moving so fast it's already gone away, but no, quote had a little short story in chat.
It's interesting that chat's moving so fast. It's a novel experience.
It's
I didn't read it again.
This is a very interesting. Obviously, like, still very new. I've streamed together with Tim once before. We did a Phasmophobia stream. It's a very different thing to be doing streaming with another streamer because chat moves from being something where you're talking to individuals in a lot of ways to I think of it kind of like scenes from a hat based on how I've seen other folks do it. So your primary focus is interacting with the other entertainer and trying to be fun in that way, while chat kind of entertains themselves and is throwing out things that you can then like sort of pull from, which is deeply antithetical to how I typically just sort of have long-running conversations, and that seems to be how you stream a lot as well. Is you're talking about what you're doing, you're talking to your chat, rather than, oh, this person said something about machines, let's talk about machines all of a sudden, right?
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, it's obviously a very different experience. I think it attracts different folks, but it's fun to try out. So, thank you for popping in and giving us some practice.
I'm glad you are keen to accept it.
Yeah. Well, streaming is for fun.
I'm glad Uno shared that because I didn't even know you were streaming. I was so focused on my own stream.
Super fair. Oh yes, Silver pointing out that yo. Man, this is I in real life will sometimes talk. I will sometimes talk about myself in like third person for the sake of humor, which then gets really tough when I'm streaming and like read the Johan name and such, because I need to try really hard not to accidentally say my own name. But
I have to do this. Yeah, I don't like having every word I type read out loud. I'll try not to do that, quote Pilgrim.
No. They don't like not having every word.
Oh, it's literally the whole reason you watch streams.
Yeah.
Okay.
we are the TTS machine.
Oh yeah, I beat the.
Oh, nice. As I switched over to my chat trying to scroll up to the thing, but hell yeah, nice. Well then, I did not beat Sir Solar on Impossible in that time.
Oh, there's an impossible difficulty?
Yes.
I guess I have to unlock it.
Yep.
I'll wait for that. Should I get a head start on the second one?
Yeah, go for it. The Westland Taupe.
Yep.
Oh, you're going expert right off the bat. Nice.
Oh yeah.
I was not that brave.
I usually go the hard route until I get my ass kicked, and then I'll submit and do easy if I have to.
That makes sense. That's I know that's a very anime thing to like train with the weights and then unlock your real power, right?
I actually did that when I was young.
Oh.
I had ankle weights and wrist weights.
Oh my
and
god.
even a weighted vest.
That's
then,
awesome.
I messed up my knees because I didn't do it properly.
Oh no. Yeah.
I think I use it properly if I did it now.
That's fair. That's especially if you're really into like the biomechanical aspect of stuff. You can probably do that a lot more responsibly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's I did actually get relatively in shape during like the height of lockdowns, because I just kind of spent a year not talking to people and living nocturnally, like, you know, like you do. But started doing 1,000 jumping jacks per day, just to try and like get some cardio in, and it worked really well. I did pull back on that because it's kind of noisy. But no, that I actually I got in pretty good shape, and then had a friend who was joining the Navy, and they've got some like very stringent fitness requirements for that.
Mhm.
And basically I had heard about this like very like fad workout kind of thing, which I'm like, this is not necessarily going to actually help, but it will help in like building a habit of really committing to the exercise. It was called,
Mhm.
I think,
Mhm.
called like the Crazy Russian, and it's basically an all push-up one that's meant to do very short-term bulking. Um, and it's
Interesting.
yeah, no, it was not a fun time, and I did not see hardly any sort of improvement, but it sort of helped kickstart him into getting into an actual like correct routine. But it was 2 weeks, and basically it's doing like sets of basically percentages of what your maximum amount of push-ups at the start of the program is, at
Uh-huh.
certain intervals. It was really bad, especially because I was doing it while at college. So,
Uh-huh.
um, stopping in the middle of a class on like one of the some days it was like 25-minute intervals, so just in the middle of class stopping and doing like 10 push-ups got some weird looks, but
Uh-huh.
but yeah, no, ultimately helped him get into the Navy, so feel good about that.
Interesting. That it's definitely a fad exercise routine.
Yeah, no.
That's for sure.
Yep, no, do not actually recommend it for folks, but it was a thing to do. Ollie's asking, is it a dude thing to commit to crazy stuff? I
Uh,
I don't think it's just a dude thing.
yeah, there's definitely girls who commit to crazy stuff.
That's
But I mean, I've definitely had my commitment to crazy stuff. So I'm gonna preface this by saying I hate the reliance of automobiles in America right now.
mm-hmm.
But in my younger age, I was a car guy, and I
Okay.
got so into like sports cars and drifting.
Mhm.
I like basically begged my father to allow me to buy a sports car
Okay.
that I learned how to drift.
Oh my god.
But I failed,
Okay.
and I crashed the car.
Oh no.
He was not happy about that.
I can imagine. Jeez. I will say though, funny that you mentioned reliance on automobiles as something in this like context. Have you ever just like walked to the next town over?
Actually, I have in my high school years before I got a car.
Hell yeah. I've done that once, because there
Oh,
was
sorry, one
Oh.
second, my wife's calling.
all good. All right. Well, hello, chat. How are things going? Into bed already? Nice. Getting good rest. Woo! Imagine having a wife I'm jealous. Absolutely. Get the double S? We'll see. Don't know about that, but hope everyone's enjoying. I know this is different. Probably not a super common thing, but fun to change it up a little bit. Ah. Yeah. Ollie needs to go to sleep rather than watch the collie. Oh no, the pointing finger.
And I'm back.
Alright. Alright, chat, back to being ignored. Wahahaha.
It is a really difficult balance trying to read chat, listen to you talk, actually respond,
Mm-hmm. No, that's
and play the game.
I have a lot more respect, like, doing this for folks who are doing the, like I watch a fair number of VTubers who are doing, like, you know, 3 or 4 person collabs with, you know, they've got hundreds of folks in their chat. It's like, oh dear.
Oh, VTubers?
Yeah,
Yeah, some of them are insane. I don't know how they can do it.
so,
Although I think if they're collabing, they do kind of tend to respond less to chat.
mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier about sort of, I think chat becomes almost more like an improv driver. Because yeah, like most of the time they're talking to the other folks that they're playing stuff with, and then like, oh, okay, chat is saying we should be doing X, Y, or Z, right? It's
Right.
I've talked about this before of like with stream size. I think the sort of three phases I would break it down into like solo streaming is like when you're first starting out and no one's in chat. It is you're very much you are just trying to find a way to be constantly narrating what you're doing and just constantly talking with no input other than the game. Then you get to sort of like small streamer status where we're at, where you've got folks and you're actually having conversations in chat. And then I think when you become like a big streamer, it comes full circle back around to kind of that first bit where you're not talking with chat anymore. You're still trying to do that sort of talking through what you're doing, what happened with your day, but you've now got the occasional thing that you're pulling up from chat. But I think that basically no one in chat and a whole bunch of people in chat are more similar than 10 people in chat. Does that ring true to you?
I think so, yeah. I don't really have any other... Yeah, I don't have any other argument against that. It's pretty much the same. Yeah.
Super fair.
I was trying to think if I had any counterpoint, but it's like no, it's pretty much just that.
I think that collaboration also sort of falls into that sort of category of the like no one in chat versus a lot of people in chat. It's just sort of like you can't, because like the human brain can't actually multitask from what most studies have found. It's you can rapidly switch between them. Or you can kind of make two things into one task, like, you know, the classic rub your tummy while patting your head, right? You're not doing two separate actions, you're doing one action that is both those things.
Yeah.
So...
And then, like, I think generally when people do play together, in the streaming aspect, right? They're playing a game where there is actual collaborative.
Yes.
It's not like two people playing the same game or something. It's like Phasma, what's it called? How do you say it?
Oh, Phasmophobia?
Phasmophobia, yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's people you're all in the same room, you know? So there's less like individual focus that you need to be doing, which is funny because we're doing Celeste and now we're doing this, and we're both having to like focus on what we're actually doing in game as well, so we're not just at a standstill.
Yep. Also, one moment, Carsey, I do appreciate trying to take care of folks, but Ollie is an adult and can take care of herself. Do not ban her for staying awake, please. But yeah, no, doing actual, like, or even if you aren't doing a game that is, like, actively collaborative, a lot of folks will do, like, challenges, right? So that there's still, like, a sort of shared goal, shared impetus. But, yeah.
And in this sense, I guess it's, technically it's me trying to keep up with you, so you don't have to keep repeating the same level.
Well, it's funny, I'm currently doing it on expert, and I still have not actually gotten a success on it.
Oh, the cactus dude?
Yeah. I've gotten a lot of what I did. There is a speedrun mode that Silver challenged me to get a sub 20 on last year before the end of the year, and I got to like 20 and some change seconds. I could not get over the hump. But the speedrun is on normal difficulty, so I'm still kind of like very, very used to the normal difficulty level of bosses. So going back to actual like actually having to do things, crazy.
How would you speedrun this game? I feel like the only thing that's speedrunning is like trying to pick up the chemical as soon as it spawns, right? That's like the big...
That is a big bit of glue.
Speeding.
Basically, the way it's set up is you do every boss back to back.
Oh.
And so in normal level, you die after 3 hits. But in the speedrun, you don't die. You cannot die. But the 3rd hit and beyond is a 15-second time penalty per hit.
I see.
Per boss, to be clear. So you can 2 hits per boss. But anything more than that on a boss, you're eating more time penalties. So it's a balance of trying to, yeah, optimize getting to the potion refill and shooting it while not getting hit. And it's tough to get that sub 20, but the rate at which you're doing this, I would be unsurprised if you managed that. Robert has managed it, so I have faith.
I don't actually know where I stand in terms of like skill level in these games. I've been told by some people that I'm actually really good at the games I'm playing, and then other times it's like, I don't know, I feel like it's mildly sarcastic, I can't tell.
Well, what I will say is legitimate. I don't know if I'm bad at games or if I'm just like very average at them, and most people who are streaming are good. But you know, I think I'm on the average to bad end of the spectrum. You are significantly outpacing me, so I think you are average to good at the very least.
Well, I'll take it then.
Yeah. Also, good night, Carsey. And also, I'm so sorry that skimming your stories, you're finding that they're terrible, quote. I feel like you kind of always have to feel that way about the art you create. I don't know if I know hardly any creatives that like the things that they produce. There's also the part where you beat 3C in under 2 hours. Yeah. See? Evidence.
Yeah, but again, the 3C thing, I think the fact that I got help from watching a YouTube video matters a lot.
I suppose.
I don't know where people get stuck in that level, but to me, I think it's the timing of Oshiro charging at you. So I just copied whatever the YouTube video did.
Gotcha. The thing is, as I understand it, Oshiro, there's not actually 100% consistent timing. It is based partially on your inputs. So even if you know how it's working, you still have to be executing it well. So I would argue that there's still a fair bit of skill involved.
Wait, how come there's no expert in Badlands?
Ah, don't worry about it.
Is this really that hard?
No. It's just something a little different.
Oh. Can I bounce on him? No, I'm just dying.
It ain't Mario.
Oh, I see everything's out to kill me.
Marsh, 'tis not a friendly game.
Are any of these games friendly? Oh, forgot already. I do still like the Hopeless Bleak Despair name after the TMBG song, which
They
is
might
the
be
saddest
giants.
story you ever read with obtuse JoJo references in it.
Yeah, TMBG is They Might Be Giants, which I know Quote really likes. Oh god. The Eagles.
I think it's funny that Cole Pilgrim said he I think he said a joke that he doesn't like things read exactly how he's saying, but he says the most fun things to read.
Oh, Quote is an absolute delight, because Quote very rarely is engaging directly in what's in stream, but always has some interesting projects going on. So you just get to hear about like, yes, this is the build I'm doing in Minecraft right now, or you know, like, here's this alternate, project that I'm doing to get this game I'm making onto this new bit of hardware. It's constantly neat stuff. Ear growls? Huh? Imagine being called an absolute delight, bro. I'd fall in love low-key. Well, I feel like pretty much everyone in chat is an absolute delight. Like, y'all are great. Y'all show up, y'all just have a fun time vibe, and we've been able to have some great discussions that I think if you took a sampling of, like, the average members of the population, I do not think we would be able to keep civil, and yet somehow we managed to, so, like...
I think I got a couple bad eggs early on in my streaming, and they don't really come to my stream anymore, which I must say I'm not too sad about.
Yep. I think especially when you're first starting out, there's Obviously, you get a lot of like the art scammers and whatnot, you know, the good old days. But I think there's a lot of people who are. I think there's a lot of folks, obviously, like Twitch and most social media, there's a parasocial element to it. I think there's a lot of people that really enjoy going to streamers who have basically no viewers and being the important thing. And then, yeah, when they actually start having more folks, when there's an actual like chat and community being built, then that starts to sort of move away from that because they cannot be the sole focus of attention. So yeah,
Right,
you know,
yeah.
I think that is I think that's something that I've heard from a number of folks, and I think you're absolutely right. Oh, would you shop at Jorlum? Yes. I haven't set up any filters for the like cheap viewers, specifically because a lot of the URLs are just very funny. One of our favorite examples being jorlum.shop. Have you had any lovely URLs get dropped in your chat?
I don't think so.
Ah. We need to convince the creative scammers to go over to Shifu.
Wait, are they like trying to give you like fake sponsors? Is that what's going on?
Oh, it's basically there's a lot of folks who will sell you viewers. They'll come in and advertise like cheap viewers at such and such or best viewers at such and such.
Oh, those.
Yeah. And a lot of them recently have been streamboo.com, but early on there were a lot that were they were obviously just like generating random domain names that were just like weird collections of letters, but some of them sounded like words. So you get like Jorlum Shop, which just sounds like some sort of hit song, right? Like so
it sounds like something those commentary YouTubers would use. Like what's his name? Drew Gooden?
Oh, I don't know.
Are you familiar with him?
No. I've not heard of Drew Gooden. But when you're saying that something they would use, like something they would use to sell their stuff, or
yeah.
Yes, the sounds are great, Ollie. That's ShifuJin will experience the beauty of victory here soon, I believe.
I must be near the end, right?
Surely. Looking at yeah, I think you're fairly near the end.
Why are these coconuts so bouncy?
What? Just because they're filled with liquid, you don't think they should bounce?
Oh.
Ooh. Oh.
That's so close. Okay, this is the one. All right. It's calling it.
All right.
This is the one I'm doing here.
You've got it. Oh my god. Also, speak of the devil, we got one of the, I think we summoned one of the cheap viewers, folks.
I try to ban him as soon as I can.
Another boring stream, boo. Sad.
I don't even remember those. Like, my brain doesn't decide to bother with memorizing them.
Yeah, I mean, most of them are forgotten, but some of them are just so fun. Speaking of the devil, is a saying we have too? Oh.
I think one of the weirdest usernames I saw for that was like, unborn fetus or something like that. I'm like, excuse me?
Pardon? Now, the question is, do they think that that is going to get more people to click on it?
Curious about the name. It's like, what is this name? Did you know that male butterflies have 2 of the same sex chromosomes and female butterflies have different ones?
Oh, so opposite of most mammals? Interesting.
Oops.
I wonder why that is. Because that's kind of the beautiful thing about evolution is, I often, like, people seem to talk about it as, like, an optimization thing, but it's really not. It is a good enough. This was functional enough that you were able to have a next generation, so that's why we get so much wonky stuff.
I sometimes watch a lot of, like, those nature YouTube channels.
Yeah.
and there was definitely that same sentiment that like our understanding of evolution and survival of the fittest is like it's not actually properly explaining what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
it's
you did
more
it.
like you're saying, it's just whatever works, it just works. That doesn't mean it's optimized or anything. Like nature is not optimized
Yep.
in any sense of the word.
Yep. Some of the things nature does are really cool, and like we a lot of technology ends up getting modeled off of nature. A lot of our medicine, like even like Western medicine that is backed by science, it's still taking plants and extracting particular chemicals in more exact dosages than if you put it in water and made a tea, right? Like nature does some awesome stuff, but then it also makes a kid in us. So, you know, like there's a give and take.
There's a lot of animals that like you'd be surprised on how they're even able to, you know, function.
Hmm. Yeah, no, they are absolutely ridiculous. Pandas I love, like, man, how I mean, they exist because we think they're cute, basically, at this point. Also a big fan of, are you familiar with the kakapo?
The what?
Kakapo. It's a,
Kakapo?
I believe they are a green ground parrot native to New Zealand.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't they kind of like the modern day dodo?
I,
Because like
yeah,
they've lived in peace basically for so long, they don't even fear humans, so they're just like, oh, what's
mm-hmm.
this?
And they have been similar to pandas, having a lot of trouble basically remembering how to mate.
Oh, they said that's a slander against pandas. Someone said pandas know how to mate. It's just they're in captivity.
Well, yes, no, and that's, they've got very funky cycles, but kakapo in the wild do not know. Basically, the males don't know how to attract females at this point, which resulted, for a short while, they found that the males were still super happy to get, shall we say, friendly with, like, tourists, on their head. So there was a very brief portion of time where they, had helmets that they got volunteers to wear to try to, collect, genetic material to help the breeding process. Did not go very well, has been discontinued, but like when you're at that point as a species, oh man.
Since we're talking about animal facts and stuff,
Yeah.
have you heard that octopus are very intelligent?
Yes.
And then they say like the reason why octopus haven't taken over the world is because when they have their babies or lay their eggs or whatever, they die. Like as soon as octopus lay their eggs, they die.
Because the males kind of go crazy and reckless, right? And then the females starve themselves for like a month.
I argue that if octopus are truly that smart, then even if their body function is that as soon as they lay their eggs, they die, I think if octopus are truly that smart, they would kind of be more social and train other octopus of the same species, like kind of like generationally pass it on if they can't pass on to their direct offspring. Like, hey, I know you were born like I don't know, 3 weeks after I was born, so you're gonna live 3 weeks longer. So remember this, and then pass it on to my children.
Right.
You know.
Well, and that's so like we see that a lot with corvids, like crows and ravens, right? We know that they are able to pass things on generationally and to other groups because you can get on a crow's shit list, basically.
Exactly, yeah.
And that will then get communicated to other flocks of crows. But yeah, we don't see that with octopi. And what I've heard about octopus intelligence that I think is something that at least would neatly explain that to me is it's not that they have a central brain in the same way as a lot of animals that's particularly sophisticated, but their tentacles, their arms, have a large quantity of neurons and can basically function independently of them. They have essentially distributed processing, so when they're solving mazes and opening jars and such, which is a lot of what we point to as octopus intelligence, it's because their arms are able to kinetically figure it out, basically. So
Right,
it's
right.
not that they necessarily have a lot of planning capabilities or language or all of those things that are, you know, sort of the human equivalent intelligence. They're still
Sorry,
smart.
Good night, Allie.
Oh, good night, Ollie. Get some good rest. And I will say, once you beat this one, I will probably need to get going, but I bet you can beat the train. I believe in you.
I mean, I think I might also end stream after the train myself, because how long have I been streaming? I actually haven't been streaming that long, but I've been busy with like helping my father with business stuff.
Yep. Man, life things having impact on streaming, it's absolutely crazy.
It is, yeah. This one extra is a little tricky, Ricky.
Hey, welcome in, Marcus.
I can figure it out. Also, I noticed that both of us seem to have a lot of like European viewers, so
yeah. Well, I think it's the
our
times.
evening viewership. Is not...
Well, I think yeah, it's a lot of it's because of the time zone, right? Whoop! I just jumped into the train. I am brilliant. But yeah, no, that I will say that is something like I love my chat and I'm happy with it, but that is one of my like small regrets of when I was doing streaming full time. I probably should have been streaming at a time that was more compatible with a 40-hour work week for when I have a 40-hour work week. But doing more pre-records and whatnot so that folks can still enjoy the Han, even if it's not at the times that work for them normally. Oh, we got the short story message again. 1 day has passed since he disappeared. In his lab, we found a note on the time machine. See you in a million years. Ooh. 1 day has passed since he disappeared in his lab. So, that's an interesting little one because it makes you wonder, did he go into the future, the past? Probably future if it's see you in a million years. Intriguing quote.
You didn't read this. 1 day has passed since he disappeared. In his lab, we found a note on the time machine. See you in a million years.
Because that's definitely being done in the like 2-sentence format. That I've seen that mostly done for like horror before, but interesting.
2-sentence horror stories are pretty interesting. Especially
Yeah.
the really good ones. It makes you really rack your brain what's going on.
Horror is such a interesting genre to me, just in general, because I think I've been with my pre-records, I've been replaying Dredge recently because it is warm where I'm at, and Dredge is nice and cool feeling. But one of the things that I found, at least with my first playthrough of Dredge, was it had a lot of really great horror until I suffered the consequences of the things that were scaring me. Because, well, fundamentally, a game has consequences in a game. So you really need to be bought into the game itself to feel that sense of horror, because to make the consequences real, you need to have the game feel real to you in that sense. Which is just something I've been trying to sort of muse on, because I think like in movies and books, there's a lot more emphasis on imagery, whereas in games, a lot of it is your actual interactive experience, which I think is in a lot of ways severely limiting for horror, because it's very easy to separate yourself and treat it as just a game. I don't know.
Oh, definitely. A lot of I have a YouTube channel, but I don't. I have 2 separate channels for sometimes uploading VODs, and then a separate one where I make YouTube videos, kind of in the style of Manly Badass Hero, if you know him.
I don't, but that sounds incredible.
But most of the games I play on there are horror games.
Okay.
And you're absolutely right. I tend to, I try to like really engage in the content, like kind of put myself in the space, but it's really easy to dissociate from the actual horror.
Yeah. It's just it's something that I really wonder if there is some aspect. It's whenever I come across stuff like that, I always treat it as a problem to solve, and I rarely come up with a solution, but I wonder if there's some aspect of the medium of games that could be used or tapped into that hasn't been yet, that could help make the sort of sense of horror more impactful. But obviously there's already been, so many stories about like being trapped in the game, right? So like VR, but I'm curious if there's something about the interactivity that can, I guess, like shock players more.
I think the kind of horror stories that are like kind of pseudo ARG and it kind of like invades your computer space, so to speak, like it messes with files and stuff. Those
True.
are some of the really horrifying ones in my opinion.
No, that's I had forgotten about those, but yeah, like Doki Doki Literature Club is a really good example of that. Was I think for at least me, that was the first one I'd come across that did that in any sort of way, and I get the feeling it was for a lot of folks as well. So like that at least was able to do it with a certain amount of novelty.
Doki Doki was definitely one of those pioneers of that space, I guess.
Yeah.
It might have not been the first game, but it was definitely one of the popular games that kind of brought it into the limelight.
Yeah. Oh, and Silver saying Kanito Pet? Yes. I've not played, but I've heard spooky things. Oh, Quote would tweet a lot of short stories like that when Twitter was new. Neat.
When can I attack this dude on this base?
I typically save all of my shots for when he's in the middle like that. A lot of that is just trying to get the timing of the left and right attacks down. But I think that basically...
Can I hit him in the middle?
Yeah. You can shoot him, obviously on the ground, it will go directly into him. But you could also shoot on the platform to maintain a little distance, and it goes up and down. But yeah, the platform tilts, so it's a little harder to sink all the juice.
I see. Okay, I didn't even know I could hit him while he was... Because he was in the background, so I think he was untouchable or something.
Oh,
Okay.
that makes sense. Whoa. I know that I'm focusing on Marsh when I just start making panicked noises.
I've learned to embrace the panic noises in games. Like, I think people actually don't mind it all that much.
Oh yeah, no, it is good content. I will also say, Silver does some amazing music, and the soundtrack for Marsh is so good. There's two that I really like. One of them, there's an alarm clock enemy, and the other is like a box. Those are both great, and I am sure that the amount of time during those levels that I've spent talking versus just humming the music, it's mostly been humming the music.
I think now I'm starting to get into like the meta of our collab. I think the reason why this is kind of working out for us is because we're kind of similar in our personalities. Like, we're not the types who are like, you know, obnoxiously yelling or being really loud about things, but we do react to things. Obviously, like, we're like, oh shoot, and like we'll do those kind of things, but it's not like over the top. And we're both, I don't know, you seem to come off as someone who's slightly introverted, and
Yeah,
I'm slightly introverted.
I typically refer to myself as an ambivert. I guess I'm very picky when I'm extroverted. There are some people I can hang out with for hours on end and like feel recharged afterwards. There are like 2 people where that's a consistent thing. Most people, it's like, today I love you dearly, friend. but I need to hide.
Right, yeah.
Which is really funny
For
because
me,
sorry.
it's situational. Like, I do terribly in like large groups of people. Like, even if I know every person there,
Mhm.
I wouldn't like really enjoy my time. But if I like singled out one person, I was able to talk to that person alone. Um,
Yes.
I'd be able to talk a lot more with them about anything, really.
Yep. The sort of the subgroup interactions.
Mm-hmm.
Very much with you on that one. It's very funny though because like obviously we do enjoy talking to people. We're streaming, right? Like we enjoy that aspect. I also find I really enjoy customer service, which I don't think is standard for people on the more introverted end of things. But
Oh, I totally agree. I kind of talk too much with people at my parents' store.
yeah, no, that's I do love the place I'm at. We get a lot of older customers, and yeah, they're always
Older
willing to share so
customers are the
much.
best.
Yeah, but it's also it is a bit more of a corporate one, so like we do need to get people through the door. So I'm like, I would love to
Mm-hmm.
hear more about the lighthouse visit and the ski trip. However, there are 3 people behind you in line, so if we could do that in a couple minutes or another day.
I'm glad I remind you of your grandchild who probably doesn't listen to you, and you're talking to me instead. But
Yep. Yep. Oh, customer service is just always so goofy though, but that's part of why I'm like I think libraries are a good balance of I'll be able to interact with people and still provide customer service, but it's not the same like someone showing up with like a massive gash on their arm and like, so where do you keep the band-aids? You know, that sort of filter out some of that and be a bit more like, oh, you know, what kind of book would you recommend? But those always make for interesting days at the very least.
I used to have a bank job. Uh, I
Oh,
I was a I wasn't a bank teller. I was a financial advisor, and the
okay.
number of people who would come in talking about how they got scammed or they are missing money and they don't know how it moved, and it's usually a case of like their grandchild or nephew or something.
Oh,
It's pretty bad.
yeah. It's never worked at a bank myself. My mom did work as a bank teller for a while, but my dad worked in like debt consolidation business for a bit, which
Uh huh.
is you get some very interesting folks in there, but it's usually all the same story of people doing the like pay as you go kind of stuff or payday loans, but just the like I can get the fancy air fryer now, but I can pay for it over time. And people just don't understand the math of if you're buying a $50 air fryer and it's got over 100% interest on it over like 10 payments, it's
Uh huh.
not worth it to buy the $50. Save for half that time and buy it outright and you will save money. It's the way people handle finances, like I not in any way to like belittle it, the economy is genuinely tough right now, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think there are a lot of people that do get themselves into more trouble than they would otherwise be in at the very least because they
I
don't
think it's a
understand.
balance of like um not properly separating wants and needs.
Yes, that is a big one, but even then like there's a lot of I think there are well no that's fair because what I was going to say is I think there are some things that are necessities like rent and whatnot that those are legitimately big costs, but I think there are times where people forget that there are alternatives to the plan that they currently have. Of like,
Mm-hmm.
turns out there's a lot of really expensive areas to live in. Of course, that's where you can get jobs that pay well, but like, there are ways to make it work, which is something that currently not making a lot of money. I've been trying to figure out, like, oh, I could live near the job, or I could commute an extra 15 minutes and save significantly more than the extra gas cost on rent. So, you know, but then you also need to make sure that you're not living in an area where, you know, there's a lot of natural sunlight from the 9mm holes. So, you know, it's a balance. But Even just stuff like credit cards and interest is something I've been watching a lot of. A show called Financial Audit with Caleb Hammer on YouTube, and it's kind of same vein as like Kitchen Nightmares with Gordon Ramsay. You know, it's not necessarily actually helping people, but it's certainly a good place to go watch other people who are doing worse than you, and learn a bit about that. But so many of those folks, he's based down in Texas,
Uh-huh.
and man, so many people are just spending everything on credit cards and not understanding that, like, they'll be putting money into an investment account that they're like, oh, it's earning 8% per year, while they're spending money on maxed out credit cards that are charging 30% interest. It's like,
Right.
so
Like, you're right. You need to balance, like even if you have money and savings and stuff, like, I understand what they're going for.
Yeah.
They're saying like, well, I could spend my money flat and get this item, or I could save my money and have it, build up while I can still get the item. But there's like a balance of like, well, if you're gonna save the money, it needs to grow faster than what you're spending on.
Right. No,
And
exactly.
it's not an easy concept to balance, especially if, as most people are, they don't have that kind of freedom of capital and to just work with whatever they want.
Things that I wish were taught more in schools.
It definitely does need to be taught. Like, it's surprising to me how little people understand percentages.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
For example, like, even when I worked at a bank, people did not understand that, like, if something has like an 8% property tax, it's always going to have an 8% property tax, even if you split the payment in half.
Right. Yep. No, it's if your bank is saying like a 4% annual interest rate, that doesn't mean that if they do it over like several months, you magically get 4% per month. I have absolutely heard people talk about stuff like that. No, it's
APY or APR, I think.
Yeah.
APR is a difficult like concept. I don't blame them entirely.
Yeah.
It's entirely way too complicated for what it is.
But that's how you make money, right? At least as a bank. That's I do at least hear it somewhat. I wish again that was more ingrained in folks earlier, but like, if you can't tell what the product is that a company's selling, you are probably the product and really need to think hard about it. It's like, why are banks giving you the free money card? Probably because it's not actually a free money card.
In a lot of banks in America, they also do the well, I don't know how it is in all banks, but I know a lot of banks, they have like incentives for the employee, like, what's it called? What's that money you earn when you do reach a quota or something?
Oh, like commission?
Yeah, commission, sort of. They have commissions and stuff in banks too, which to me is like really weird.
Yep.
Like, if you have under your name opened a certain number of accounts, you get like bonuses. But I never like doing that because, like, it's not like these accounts are free.
Right.
People who don't have money and can't put money into a bank won't be able to have the account properly because they'll have to pay like fees, like maintenance fees and low balance fees and all this.
Yeah.
And I just hate the whole system that works.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Stuff like overdraft fees and whatnot, and yeah, no, and credit cards that charge you to have them, and yeah, no, it's goofy. And the other thing, I know, at least in the US, credit cards, they've got like a set interest rate for if you don't pay them off in full each month, but then if you like miss the minimum payments on them, the cap on that interest rate gets like lifted, so that now it's all of a sudden you're paying even more on the. It's a goofy industry.
It's very predatory.
Yeah. Nope.
On the
Absolutely.
unfortunate.
Well,
I think that's the sad part. Is like too much of it is too much of like societal services are predatory on the unfortunate
oh
instead
yeah.
of actually helping.
Well, yeah, it's when you look at like the history of money, banks are a great concept in principle because it allows you to, instead of having to like, well, you start off with a bartering system and then you find some sort of like actual precious material that is, you can weigh against each other and is more portable, like gold. But then it gets really, if you're making a big deal, it's tough to lug around pounds and pounds of gold, and people tend to steal that from you. So banknotes is a really great innovation. But then you've got the problem of now the banks are having to go, well, hey, I'm having to haul the 50 pounds of gold now, and that opens me up to risk.
Bank robberies.
Yeah. So they're going, well, that bank that you've got over there, it's only got 3 branches, and I'm gonna have to send a guy super far to go collect that. So I can't accept your banknotes at full price because I have to factor in the risk. So I'll accept them at like half value, which gets super frustrating. So then you get central banks so that you don't have those problems, and it's a great thing. Stuff like fractional reserve banking, where the actual cash on hand is not, they don't have to keep all of the cash that they're saying their customers have, right?
Right.
Because not everyone withdraws at the same time. All of these things are useful innovations, but then they stack up and up and up, and over time, move from being this really useful service into how can we increase our profit margins more and more and give us the society we have today.
Speaking of banks,
Mhm.
did you know that back when like the old times before banks were like a super prominent thing, people with
Congrats.
like a ton of money would invest in both sides of war, essentially. Like the
Oh, yeah.
neutral party would invest in both sides of the war and then make the money back from the winning side.
Yep. No, absolutely. Well, that's a whole other thing. And I'll move towards wrapping up because congratulations. But like when a bank or when a country loses in war and gets taken over, they have debt still. Who services those debts? That's a whole other fascinating part of like international law. But
our society is much too complicated for no fucking reason.
that is kind of my thesis on stuff. I really like, there was a Cuban artist who talked a lot about this concept of like the authority of technology, of the average person doesn't know how to fix their like laundry machine, right? And
right.
whereas in Cuba, because all of the import-export bans that the US placed on them, they've had to do a lot of recycling. So this artist was sort of talking about, like, in Cuba, the average person knows how to disassemble a washing machine, and they view it in the component parts. So the timing belt breaks, awesome, I'll stick it on my bike, make a motorized bike, I've got the drum for collecting rainwater, a whole bunch of other stuff. And I think that there are a lot of things that would get better in society if the average person felt like they could actually control the technology in their environment and the world around them. So, yeah, it's globalized economy is cool because it lets us do something like this. Communicate from 2 positions we don't know where they are at the drop of a hat. But yeah, it also creates such a complicated system that the average person can't wrap their head around it, and it's super disempowering.
Yeah. I think we both kind of need to go, so we can keep talking and talking about all this stuff. It's all really interesting.
Yeah.
But
The-
I'll say
Yes,
one
please.
more thing about that. Actually, now I lost my train of thought.
Oh no.
Also, I'm short. They keep telling me open a bag, but I don't have enough.
Well, I think
I'm just short a few points.
I think a good wrap up. Silver asked me to show you the box music and the clock music. Are you game for hearing the lovely songs?
Yeah. Let me close out mine so my sound's not interrupting.
Fair enough. Let me know when you're ready. All right.
If it shows up in your stream, I think I can hear it, right?
It should, yeah. All right.
Oh, I'm echoing.
Uh-oh.
If you can play it through this audio that we're on. What I don't know. Or
Ooh,
you know what? I'll just mute. I'll mute my desktop and then I'll turn on your stream.
okay. All right.
Okay, I'm ready.
Alrighty. Well, so this is the lovely Vic talk. Oh, begin. Haha, I can do things. It's just got a lot of really good movement, I think.
The movement is very clean.
Yeah. But it's not like surfer rock, but it's got that sort of like energy to it that just makes you want to like go do stuff. We'll call that for that showcase. And then the box. The box haunts me. This is most of them I've gotten an S rank on. The box I have not managed. So at least it's got the good music to haunt my dreams.
Trying to make it a little bit louder.
Oh, alright. Could also turn it up on my end. Oh wait, no. There aren't options here. Oh no.
I just turned up my volume.
Alright.
I can mostly hear it. I think it's okay.
Yeah, it's just both of these songs. I think these were both ones that I think these are both ones that Silver made, because Silver had a couple of other folks who worked on the music, but these are both they've just got so much energy to them, which is really great, especially when you're doing a speed run and really dragging at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Silent and Silver Fillet. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, so things to look forward to. And Silver does make other music that gets released on Spotify, which I has released a lot of stuff that I have not gotten around to listening to, but highly recommend. Give it a shot. And is also usually friendly to having that get used as background music on streams. Obviously, ask, but I did that to replace a lot of the Geometry Dash music for a while.
Oh yeah, I've been trying to look for music to play in the background sometimes, because yeah, some of it often gets like you said, it gets counter
Copyright strike.
Copyright strike. I think my brain's kind of hit its limit. It's turning into mush.
Oh, this has been lovely.
It has. I've very much enjoyed this stream. This is one of the most fun streams I've had in a while.
Awesome. Yeah, and I doubt this is obviously space these out, but would absolutely be down. Let's we'll try and find some stuff. Maybe actually play a collaborative game at some point in the future.
That sounds good.
All right. Have a good one. Bye,
Thank
ShifuJin.
you.
Bye, chat.
Bye, chat. Thank you, Johan.
Bye.
Like you said, too much of a good thing is never good, but we should maybe we'll plan it out next time.
Yes, exactly. All right. I am hanging up in 3, 2, 1. All right. And with that, thank you all for sticking around. I know that was not expected, a little goofy, but I had a good time. And yeah, we'll definitely do some more normal Celeste, make some more progress. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little goofy because I need to do some serious packing because I have a trip coming up, and that will also put a little damper on streams, but I will try and get that figured out and actually offer a plan and maybe see if I can do something on Saturday. We'll see though. Thank y'all. It's been a blast. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your days. But for now, I must bid you adieu. Mm, bye. Oh, the work was fun, but the wages low. Leave her, Johann, leave her. I guess it's time for us to go, and it's time for us to leave her.